good morning, and welcome to SD Direct. This is the session number 2 of the Ultimate Guide to Selling on Amazon. We're here with James Hyatt, San Diego's Amazon expert. Hello, James. Thanks for joining us. Take it away.
Hi, Karen. Good morning, and good morning to everyone here that's also watching. Very exciting presentation for you today and workshop. And as the nature of that, we're going to be getting our hands into the nuts and bolts of product listing optimization, catalog management, inventory management, and how to set up your account for best practice and top success with selling on Amazon. So of course, if you've already attended a few of these workshops, you're getting more familiar with who I am, James Hyatt, CEO and founder of Rankin Bank. We are an Amazon advertising agency here out of San Diego, California. We specialize in product listing optimization, pay-per-click advertising, and all around general consulting when it comes to selling products on Amazon. And so last session, we spoke about setting goals, the importance of business goals. We talked about the different areas that you can use to make improvements to your Amazon business. And we got you excited to start making a plan for how you're going to do that on your own. And so today we're going to get into the optimizing of your product listings, optimizing of your catalog, and we're going to go through the actual system and process that we implement here for our clients at Rankin Bank. And so I'm super excited to go and do that with you today. So one thing unique about today, you'll notice we will not be sharing any big presentation or anything. I really wanted to just dive in and start teaching you kind of how I do with new prospects who come on board and help to educate you about what your options are and how this selling on Amazon thing really works to prepare you for optimizing of your own catalog. And so we're going to start here with the foundation, which is the product detail page. And if you're familiar with marketing and advertising through the years, right? Advertising has been around for a long time. Selling products has been around for a long time, especially retail. Essentially, at the end of the day, the way that we build our business is by getting our message in front of the right customers and putting together an offer that is irresistible and also speaks to the different touch points that are important to those people that are looking at our offer. And so you may be thinking to yourself about your own product line. And of course, if you've been in business for any length of time, you're probably aware of the different things that are important to your customer. But sometimes we find that there's too much focus on features and not enough focus on the benefits. Also, as we move into the new media of selling online, there's new ways to promote our products with images and sales copy, videos, posts, right? Social media type of posts. And so depending on where you're at in the journey, it can be kind of confusing to know where to start. And that's why we always want to start with building our solid foundation with product listing optimization. And so we're going to review that today. And when you sell on Amazon, you're not just catering to the consumer. You also have to create listings that the algorithm will favor. And so we're going to spend a little bit of time here in the beginning just discussing how that system works to get your mind wrapped around it. And so probably one of the most common ways that people search for products on Amazon is through the search bar. And Amazon was very much pioneer in developing the search bar and making it one of the most prominent ways for people to find things, right? We can think about Google has a search bar, Bing, Yahoo, but when it comes to product searches, I believe more than 51% of those on the internet start with Amazon. And they've created something where it's very simple for you to just type in your keyword, and you can type in really anything that comes to mind as far as what it is that you're looking for. And so when we get into listing optimization, we need to think about what are the words that people are using to search for my types of products. And that's kind of where it all starts. And then from there, the system uses those words, right, to do something that we call indexing and ranking. Also on top of that, there is a browse tree guide, and this is the structure for how your products are organized within Amazon's system. And so if we click on this over here to the left, this is essentially this is the browse tree guide. And so we start up here with all departments, and then we have all of these other main categories. And within these categories, we have subcategories. Now, the way that you can think about this is if you were to go to the grocery store and you walk in the front doors, and then there's 30 rows of aisles, right? It's the same situation if you go to, Home Depot, Ace Hardware, big or small, in these brick and retail mortar stores, things are organized based on the category. You've got your home goods department. You've got the arts and craft, you have beauty, right? And so, I mean, just think about your experience growing up, maybe walking into the mall, you've got all the different stores, things are organized, and that's in the brick and mortar, that's in the physical realm. And based on what you're looking for, you physically would walk over to that area. And so as we transition to online retail, it's the same situation as far as these departments being organized in these categories. And so it's very important that when you launch your products on Amazon, or maybe even if you've been selling on there for a while, we want to ensure that these products are showing up in the correct category, because that's going to help the search display properly your products when those people are looking. From there, okay, we've got a few other things going on. So how does the system know to display your product? Well, we've got the title, we've got the bullets, and we've got the product descriptions down here. Now, these areas on the listing, these contain written content. And so this acts twofold. Number one, as sales copy. So somebody reading this, right, we're using very specific words and benefits, right? So we have Korean exfoliating mitts, and then we say great for microdermabrasion, home exfoliating gloves, lift away dead skin, right? So part of this is the copy. These are the benefits that we're trying to convey to the consumer of what this product can do for them, how it can make their life better. And then we also have to use very specific words like gloves and mitts. We also mentioned here spray tan removal, right? So these are phrases that people are searching for and buying this particular type of product. And so it's very much an art and a science. We want to write the listing to sell the product, yes, but we also have to intertwine these particular keywords in order for the system to know that this product is relevant. And a little bit later today, I'm going to be actually showing you the specific tools that we use to find those keywords. So within the product listing optimization, we have the text-based optimization, which is your titles and your bullets. And then we have the graphic optimizations. Now, there's also SEO, right? Search engine optimization, which is coming from your bullet points. So really your titles and your bullet points, these are going to be the hardest hitting for getting your product to rank. So this is where you're going to want to spend a lot of time on the way that you structure these pieces of of information here. You can also think about this as like your headline of your ad, and then your kind of like your sub headline of your ad, right? And these bullets go more into the benefits and the features, but Amazon will pull keywords from this to make your product show up in the search. And then something else I want to talk about as far as the optimization goes. So this is the back end of Amazon, and we're looking at the product catalog. And so we have all of the product listings here. And then if you click on this button, it's going to take you over to the edit details. Now, this is where you essentially upload your content to create the product listing. And so it has all these various tabs such as vital info, your offer, images, description. And so this is how we actually create a listing on Amazon. And so you can see right here, we have the product name, and that's where we've uploaded our product title. We have things like manufacturer, item type, keyword. This is where the product is positioned in the catalog. We have some other information here regarding like the color and the size, etc. And then over here in the description, right, this is where we can actually upload a written product description, and then we can upload our bullet points. So based on the information that you put in here, this is where Amazon is actually pulling that information from, right? So their system is looking at these keywords, it's looking at the content that you put in here, and then that's how it determines where to show your product on the search engine result page. And so the unique thing about Amazon is everybody essentially is given the same template, given the same format. So everybody has a title, a description, bullet points, keywords, right? And it's your ability as the seller of the product to utilize that real estate to be most effective for your product listing. And that's really where the fun of this comes in, because we can be creative and we can test different ideas and we can try different keywords and things. And a lot of what people do is they just put up like very little information. Okay, because they're not expertise in how to rank listings and how to write copy and what keywords to use. So they just put up whatever information they think is, most, well, they don't even know. Maybe they'll just take it from the backside of the box, or they'll just write a little bit of information. And so this is where we start to see like opportunity to provide services to be able to help them get the most out of their product listings, right? Because Amazon is giving us like, okay, here's the different tools you can use to increase your sales. And most people are only using one or two of those tools. And so we want to come in and help them utilize all of those tools. And so these are the tools, right? What I'm showing you here, this is the actual nuts and bolts of where you're going to fill out this information to give Amazon the info it needs to show your products in the search. And if you're not filling these out, then Amazon is not going to have as much data points, right, to direct customers to your product listings. Now, this is another very important area. This is called keywords. And so we can see in the keywords section, we have something called target audience. And so this is, what type of consumer would be buying your products. And then you have something called search terms. Now, search terms, these would also be considered hidden keywords. And these are keywords that typically wouldn't be as related keywords that you would want to show on the front of the detail page, right? And so based on the people searching behavior, sometimes there'll be, keywords that they're using to find and buy your product, but they're not specifically like related to that product, as far as we wouldn't want to advertise or write about this keyword for that product. So, for example, a couple keywords in here, we have loofah, sponge, silicone. We also see misspellings. Okay, so obviously we don't want to put a misspelled keyword on the front end of our listing, but this is how people search, right? So they misspell keywords all the time, and their intention is to buy a product that's similar to yours. So we still want to show up in the search algorithm for that keyword. And that's the purpose of the backend search terms. Something else I want to show you here. This is the images tab. And so this is where we can upload our product images on the back end. And Amazon has made some adjustments to this recently where it's super easy now to switch your image placements around. And that's another big benefit of selling on Amazon is they've created an environment that's very test friendly. So they want you to be split testing things. And if you're not familiar with the term split testing, that just means that you have version A with a certain setup, right? The way that the content is shown, and then version B with a slightly different way that the content is shown and set up. And so we can run traffic to version A and we can see the conversion rate. We can run traffic to version B and we can see the conversion rate. And then we can compare and contrast on how which content setup is most productive for us. And this is another area where we see clients not taking advantage of how simple it is to split test things, right? Just because you put up a couple images and you're making some sales, like doesn't mean you're fully getting everything you can out of that product listing. And that's where you have some of these best practices that come in as far as the design of the images and the copy and whatnot. And one final thing I just want to show you here as far as the text-based content goes, and then we're going to move on to some of the more graphic images. This is called a feed file. Now, the feed file is more advanced users. So this here is called the user interface, and you can absolutely do, pretty much everything you need to do as far as like uploading content, managing content. But if you are more comfortable or you're working with someone who is skilled and more advanced with Amazon, you can use this. You can use this template here, which is called the feed file. And so this is a Excel spreadsheet. This is from Amazon. So I downloaded this from Amazon, and we are able to add in all of the important details for the product listing. Okay. And what's kind of nice about this is it also contains additional fields or attributes that we can fill out to give Amazon even more information about our product. And when we're discussing optimization, really what that means, to break it down and make it more simple, to optimize something is to make it produce at the highest level possible, right? And so for an easy example, the car that I drive is a 4-cylinder, okay? And when I go to the gas station, there's 3 types of gas. I think it's 87, 89, 91. For my particular engine with the 4-cylinder, if I run the 91 octane in there, the car will run more efficiently. It'll perform better. I might get a little bit extra, horsepower from it or something like that, right? I definitely know my miles per gallon will be extended because it's a more cleaner gasoline type, right, than an 87. So for my car, it can still run on the 87, right? But it's not fully optimized, right? I'm not getting the most out of that engine that I can, right? And so just like with your product listing, you may have it up there and it's selling, it's making some sales, that's great. But if we want to get the most out of it, we need to be adding all of these different attributes, right? Because Amazon is signaling to us that this information is important. Otherwise, they would not have it available for you to fill out. And I mean, this spreadsheet, it just goes on and on and on and on. And there's probably about 1,000 attributes in here that you could fill out. And not all of these are related to your specific product. So you kind of have to look at the feed file and understand, what it is as far as the attributes and which ones are going to actually help you if you were to fill those out. Once you do that, then you can upload this to Amazon and it's going to update this user interface with all of the details that you've entered in. And then those details will be displayed on the front end of the product listing. And so here's a couple examples for this one here. These are some of the additional attributes. So skin type is normal, product benefits is exfoliating, skin type is normal, right, et cetera. So if you, and this looks very simple, but what's good about this is if you are searching kind of in shopping based on these categories here, then in some instances, Amazon allows you to select those attributes over here, right? So if I knew that, you know, I want something that I'm probably not going to be allergic to, I can select that attribute. And then if I need, you know, I want something else that is oil free, I can select that attribute. So now Amazon is going to display to me the products that contain these attributes, these additional attributes that I've selected. Maybe climate pledge friendly is important to me. So I only want to see products that are climate pledge friendly. If you don't set those attributes up in the back end, then you're not going to be eligible to have your product be displayed for these particular search queries. And so this is pretty advanced information that I'm sharing with you, but this is the difference, right? This is how we help our clients continue to improve and increase their sales, because Amazon is coming out with these new updates and you want to be a first mover on that. You want to be able to take advantage of those things. And so that's where we're going to stop for a moment on the text-based optimizations. And then I want to talk to you a little bit about, you know, the graphic optimizations. So moving on to the graphic optimizations, the main areas where we're going to have graphics are our product images, right? Our top 7 images. Just want to get back to our example here. So our top 7 images here. We also have the ability to upload videos, which is a really big deal, and becoming more competitive, right? So it's still one of these things where not every product listing has a video. So if you can get a video up there, your chance of producing a conversion over a competitor is going to be greater. And then down here in this section, we have the brand story, and then we have the A+ content. And again, you know, most everyone has access to these modules, but it's your ability to create something that's going to be attractive to the consumer and that's going to give them the information that they need to make a purchasing decision or connect with them on a more emotional level, right? And so a lot of what retail sales are, you know, clothing sales, supplement sales, really anything, people buy, you know, what they want in the future. They're purchasing based on the benefit, the lifestyle. I know growing up for me, I was really big into surfing and skateboarding. And so when I would go to the skateboard shop or the surf shop, right down by the local beach, I resonated with the model, right, that was carrying the surfboard and wearing the really cool board shorts and, you know, on the beach. Maybe there was a picture of them surfing or skateboarding. Like I identified with that image, right? I wanted to be like that, and that's how I thought of myself. And so I wanted to wear the clothing that those, you know, the models or the athletes, right, who were sponsored by the brands were wearing. Okay, and that was enough for me to say, yes, I want to buy this, versus maybe a different type of brand at the time, like, you know, Polo or Ralph Lauren, you know, when I was young in high school, that wasn't attractive to me. Whereas my personal, you know, style preferences changed over time. And now the Ralph Lauren, the business, you know, that lifestyle is more attractive because of who I am. And so this is very important to think down on the psychological level of your consumer. And that's where these graphic images come into play. And so, for example, on this one, you know, this is who we're trying to attract, right? Young women, they want to look good on the beach. You know, they want to be happy. They want to feel good about their skin. So those are the types of things that we want to show to them, right? And how do we know that? Well, we know that through research. We know that through the data. And there's different things within Amazon Brand Analytics that we can look at to uncover that information. And so as we scroll down here, we continue with that idea, right? And so for this product, it's very much about self-care, having spa time at home, treating yourself to a luxurious, bath time, and using this product to make your skin silky smooth. So those things are important to the people that we're selling to, and we need to show that. And so I want to compare this to this listing over here for a recent prospect I was speaking to. And these listings sell, absolutely. They're doing decent revenue, but they want to take their business to the next level. And so when we look at these images, okay, so we've got a picture of the product, and I guess this is showing me what the actual liquid looks like. Here's a picture of the label. Okay, so I can read that and I can know what the ingredients are and how to use it. This little image shows me like how big it is. So that's a little bit helpful. And then here's the back of the product. But you can see there's nothing have to do with lifestyle in here. And there's really no focus on the benefits of this product, right? I would like to see some people using this product, maybe in the bathroom, smiling, happy because their mouth is fresh, or maybe they're with a group of people and they're conversing and they're talking and, they're having a good time, or maybe just, the target audience is smiling and they're out, with their grandkids. And so we need to identify what is the benefit, how is someone trying to improve their life using this product, right? And even with something that's such like maybe boring, right? Like a mouthwash, nobody, it's not like something grand that someone inspires to be, but everybody wants to have clean, fresh breath. And also the alcohol-free component is probably important to people, just like being vegan is important to someone versus, having the highest quality meat, right? From like the best sourced farm, right? And so this one here being alcohol-free, we need to call that out more. And we need to talk about how this product works inside of your mouth to eradicate the different germs and the smell. And we need to bring this product to life. This is how you're going to take this product to the next level. As we scroll down here, you'll see that this listing is not using any of the brand registry components. And so if we just go back to this listing here, look at this. So if I'm shopping for these products and I get down to this product description, right, and I read this prevention daily care mouth rinse, okay, and then I move on and I move on, and maybe I'm down here and then I end up clicking on something else, and now I'm off of the page, right? Let's just click on this and see, if they're utilizing. Yeah, so look at this one. Okay, so this one, they're utilizing really nice, lifestyle images. This is called an infographic. And already I'm spending more time on this listing just because it has more content. So down here, it's got really nice big images, picture of some, attractive models, right? I'm already thinking to myself like, hey, look at, she looks happy. This looks fun. Like, maybe I would like this. We compare that back to this listing here and look at like how dull this is. I mean, you go from the other listing, which is fun, attractive people smiling, winking at you. And then we go back to this one and it's just like dull product sitting on the shelf. Maybe it's a little dusty, like who cares, right? And so that's the type of thing when we're talking about optimization, right? This is a good product. We can tell that it's a good product. It's got 4.5 stars, 455 ratings. If we check the sales data, we can see that people are, continuously buying the product. So it's a good product, but it's just terrible marketing, right? And so those are the things that we want to look at, and we want to create lifestyle images, infographic images, maybe even do comparison charts. And these are all, best practice, but what's going to make it unique for you is how you implement these things and how you test these things, and being willing to continually test until you find the content that produces the type of return on investment that you really want. And so again, the benefit with Amazon is we can test all of these things. This is not a set it and forget it strategy, right? And so a lot of the times when we're looking at a listing like this, just by adding these additional image types and content, you're going to see an improvement in your sales and your listings. Okay. And so two other things I want to talk about as far as optimizations, and then we're going to get into some of the how to on actually how we go about doing this. So the next piece is going to be the brand store. And I know that we covered this very briefly in prior sections, but the brand store is becoming more and more important, especially because Amazon delivers to you an entirely new set of brand analytics when it comes to people who are clicking into your store, which types of modules they're clicking on, what products they're clicking on, how they're shopping on your store. And so we can use this as testing ground to promote particular products and also design types or copy to understand what is going to work best for the conversion of my product. And this again comes down to optimization, because there's a lot of brands, that just do not have an optimized brand store. Again, we can look at this example, and this is okay. I've seen a lot of other brand stores that are worse, but they're just list the products here. This is not very engaging to me. We have one lifestyle image here, so if that's their target audience, great. But it's just this one picture of her sitting here. If we go back to this example, this is much more, pretty looking, much more engaging. We have these different types of image modules that are like rotating, right, to capture my attention. We scroll down here, we make it easy for the customer to shop for our products, right? So we have the exfoliate product line, we have the glow product line, and then we also show all of the different types of products here. So we didn't take the easy way out and just list, like just pop the ASIN in here and then it pulls through the information. No, we actually create like an engaging experience with the design, right? And this is carefully crafted to take the consumer on a purchasing journey, right? And they're going to spend a lot more time on your brand store when it looks like this versus when it just looks like this. And the reason that this happens, right? So this brand probably knows that they could be doing this better, but the reason this happens is because typically within their company, within the brand, they don't have the expertise. They don't have the specialized knowledge and skill set to even really know what to do. So what ends up happening is they just take some banners from their website or some images of their products and they just upload it on the store, but it's not really optimized, right? You can see here, we created brand new images that are not being used anywhere else on any of the other product listings. We created those specifically for this brand store. And as we click through these modules, we're taken to more and more niche parts of the brand and showing to the consumer the product line, and then having more information to keep them busy on our listing instead of other competitor listings, right? And so that's a real benefit of taking the time to think through this. How do the consumers shop for my products? And once they've purchased once from me, How can I get them to purchase again? And then specifically, designing these pages based on how you see people interacting with your brand. And so for this one, for example, we find that a lot of consumers purchase these products together. And so we went ahead and created what is called a virtual bundle. And that way we make it super easy for them to go ahead and just buy these products already bundled together virtually instead of having to add them to cart individually. And so that's what you want to do. I think originally on Amazon, manufacturers, sellers, they just wanted to get their product up there. So they just put a couple images, they put some titles and some bullet points, and they started making some sales and they call it a day, right? But as Amazon continues to get more competitive, there's more sellers entering the space. You've got Amazon even competing with you with their own private labels. Like, we have to get serious about this. We have to use everything we can in the Amazon toolbox to promote and build the sales. Otherwise, you're going to get left behind, and that means you're going to lose market share. Your sales are going to go down. You're not going to have a consistent growth in your business, and you're going to end up just essentially losing money and not getting as much as you can from the platform. And we're in a very exciting time because although Amazon has been around for 20 years, the adoption of the platform by brands and manufacturers is still relatively new. So if you sell products in a niche space and you can get into the platform and start building listings that are very engaging, contain all of the branding elements, utilize all the keywords and the graphics and the videos, you can still reap the rewards of being in that early mover category of the group. And you can build reviews and build your rankings and create an asset that will produce money for you on a monthly basis, which is very, very exciting. We even see sometimes that if brands get in and do these activities the right way, Amazon can make up more revenue for them than all of their other channels combined. And that's the power of 150 million Prime members all shopping on Amazon every month, adding things to cart, trying new brands out, trying new products, right? You want to benefit from that. And so we need to improve the traffic that's going to your listing and also the conversion rates. And that's what's happening here with the optimization. So let's move on here and let's get into a little bit more of the nitty gritty in regards to how we go about actually optimizing these listings. And I think we've got a comment here. So let me just see. That must have been on LinkedIn. Okay. All right. Back to the program here. Let me just. Do
you mind if I ask a question?
Oh, please.
Are these images, do they all link to the product page?
Specifically on the brand store?
Yeah.
Yes, I think most of them do. Yeah, so if you were to click on these, you can see that they're going to the product page here. You can go back to home and also check this out too. So if we go here, that one doesn't go to anything. This one goes to the lotion. Oh, that one actually goes here. So on the back end, I know that you can designate like where you want that link to go. And what we've done here is on the home page, we're trying to drive people to the more specific page for that category. But then once you're on that sub page, anywhere you click here is going to take you to the listing, right? If I click that. So yes, you can, that's a attribute that you can set up on the back end, Karen, as far as where you want those links to go. And I believe you have the option to either go to another part of the brand store, or you could go to the actual product page for the listing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, so moving along here, and if you have any other questions, just post it in the chat, or you can unmute and ask. No problem with that. Happy to help. Let's talk a little bit about our process for optimization. So we've already covered a lot, and it can seem, very overwhelming. And so what I want to do here is I want to share with you our structure, our thinking about how do we even go about this? How do I know, what keywords to use? How do I know what design to use? And we like to start everything with this survey, which is called the listing brief. And the listing brief is, the purpose of this is to gather information from you. If you're the seller of the product or the manufacturer, the brand owner, you are a lot closer to the product, and you have been for a much longer time than anyone else that you might work with could ever be. Because if you've been selling it for the last 10 years, you've probably had countless conversations with customers, what they like, what they don't like, what they want to see in a new version, ideas, frustrations, compliments. And also, if you created the product, you understand what the need is, what the desire is. How does this help people? And what I find is the best resource to extract this information is going to be from, the owner of the business or the marketing director or people on the team. And so we like to go through this process, which is called listing brief. And we send this survey to them, which they need to fill out for each one of their listings that we're going to be optimizing on Amazon. And so we're not going to go through every single one of these questions, but I just want to give you an idea of the process here. So the first part of the survey starts out, and we're just asking them very general information. What's your name? What's the brand? What's the ASIN? And then we ask them, what is the brand identity? Who is the brand persona? And just like you have the difference between, Nike that sells shoes to athletes or everyday people who are trying to get out and about and be active, is a very different identity or persona to, let's say, Home Depot, where they're trying to cater to the DIYer, somebody who has extra time on the weekend, wants to work on their house, wants to update the kitchen, whatever, right? So those are two completely different brand identities, and they're going to attract a different brand persona. So we want to start with that question and learn that from the brand. And then we want to talk about what is the tone. So we have copywriters, we have graphic designers, and those are the people who are going to be creating the content. And so we want to understand, what is your brand voice in the marketplace? So you can select those indicators there for us. We have other questions here, such as what is the brand known for? Who is the target audience? What are the most important benefits of the product? What are the results a customer may experience from using the product? How can this product change a customer's life? And what value does it bring? And so you can see that we're digging super deep with the brands that we work with to extract this information. And what we find is that once they go through the initial survey and fill out their questions, we like to get on a phone call with them and then review those questions. And we find that we can pull out even more stories or examples or use cases where they're telling us about, oh yeah, the reason that this product came about is because I was experiencing this personal issue, and I couldn't find any products on the market that would help me, to solve that. And so I ended up coming up with my own first version in my garage. And then before I knew it, my friends were asking to use it, and then their friends were asking to use it. And then I started manufacturing it, and then it started taking off, right? So we want to get down to the root of that product, the benefits of that product, the solution that it provides. And I want to hear that information in their own words, or the words of the customer, because those are all the things we're going to be using to create the copy, to be designing the images, to illustrate what is important to the consumer when they're looking for this. And I'm telling you, this is the cutting edge. This is how I've been able to grow this agency and help my clients be successful because we are willing to do the research to understand this information. We don't just plug your product into a keyword tool and it spits out 1,000 keywords and then we just cram that into your listing. We want to understand the consumer psychology and what is behind these needs, because people don't buy a blender, people buy the smoothie, they buy the protein drink, right? Yes, they may go purchase the blender and it's got the cord and it's got the teeth on it and the different sizes of the thing that you use to blend it, but really what they want is that protein shake every day at 3 p.m. after they just hit their workout. That's really what they're buying, and that's what's important to them. They don't care about the plastic that it's made with and the speed of the blade and all that stuff. Yeah, sure, there's some people that might care about that, but at the end of the day, what they care about is a really good tasting smoothie, being able to chop up all the ice super finely so that it goes down smooth, right? That's what they care about. And so we need to find those things, and it's a process, and it's kind of like being a detective. And so this document helps us to extract that information. And then towards the bottom of this, we get into the design requirements. And so this is where if the brand has a brand style guide, then they can give that to us, and then we can understand what are the color palettes that they use, what is the font that they use, is there any particular icons or little characters that they use to promote their brand. And so as we create the content, we want to be in alignment with everything else that they've put out there on the internet or in the retail stores. And so the listing brief is a great place to start with that. From there, we get into the keyword research. And this process is called CRT. And this is intellectual property process developed and designed by Rankin Bank. And essentially what we do is whatever product we're optimizing, we want to find the top 10 competitors to that product. And then we want to use a tool like Helium 10 or Sellozo, which I'm going to show you in a minute, to reverse pull all of the keywords that those products currently index and rank for. Once we do that, we want to organize that keyword data into low volume, medium volume, and high volume keywords. And then from there, we want to select the top 30 keywords. And so essentially what we're doing here is we are gathering all of the important keyword information for those 10 products, and then we're applying these filters to get down to only the most important keywords that are really driving all of the sales for those listings. And that's where we want to start with our keyword optimization. And so we take the information that we learned from the listing brief, and then we take the keywords that we're able to research and discover through this process, and we want to marry that together into our sales copy. And then from there, we take that sales copy, and then we want to illustrate that copy in the top 7 images. And that's where we're going to get the ideas for the lifestyle images and the infographics. And so just as a very simple example here, you can see one of the keywords that was important we optimized for is called back scrubber for shower women. And if we see that this keyword is very popular and a lot of products are ranking for it, then we want to put that into our title and bullet points. But we also maybe want to show women in the shower. And that's why we have this video on the product listing where we show the woman using the exfoliator in the shower, right? So it's not rocket science, but you have to understand, what you're doing and how you're going to position the product, right? And I was just trying to get to this video so that I can show you, right? So here we go. So that's another question. Well, how do we even know what video to create? And it's like, well, what keywords are people using? And so you can see we create a very professional, appropriate video, and it was approved by Amazon, and it helps people to see, how we're using this product. So Karen asked here, is there a level of way to consider the competition for each keyword? Yes. So that's going to take us over to our keyword tools. So this product is called Helium 10, and there's many different tools in here. But the one that we're going to focus on right now is in regards to optimization of the product listing. So the way that this works is, let's just grab this product here. So we're going to copy this ASIN. And then what we're going to do is we're going to plug the ASIN into this tool here. Okay, and then I'm going to say get keywords. Now, while that's doing that, I'm also going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to plug this ASIN into this tool. And so these are two different tools. And essentially, they're going to do a similar activity, which they're going to look on the back end of the listing and find all the keywords that these products are indexed and ranked for. So let me just go back here. And we went ahead and we plugged this in, and then we searched. And then what this tool is doing is it says, okay, we found 9,634 total keywords that this product is indexed for. Out of those 9,000, about 2,000 are from sponsored ads, about 8,000 are organic keywords, and 1,000 of those are Amazon recommended. And then at the search term level, we can see here the search volume. So this is saying on a monthly basis, how many people are searching for this keyword. And we can see 1,194. There's also a couple other very interesting metrics here that we can select. So let's look at competing products, and we'll just do that for now. So this tool will also show us the search volume. So is the search volume for that keyword up, or is it down in the last 30 days? How many products are competing for this keyword? So we can see over 6,000 products. This metric is how many of these products we would need to sell during an 8-day period to rank on the first page of Amazon. And then we also have, how many products are using this keyword in their title, what is a sponsored ranking or organic ranking. But to answer your question, Karen, yes. So this tool will show us how many other people are trying to rank their product for this keyword. So in this particular example, over 6,000 people. But if we filter this a little bit of a different way and we want to see, top search volume keywords, for this one, you can see 116,000 search volume and only 2,000 competitors. And so this is a good example where, if we think that this keyword is super relevant for our listing, then we want to go ahead and optimize it. And, with over 9,000 keywords, how do you choose which ones are best? Well, that's where some of this process comes in here, where we're going to identify the top sellers, and then we need to create filters to hone in on which keywords are most important. And that's why I like this other tool over here called SellZone, because they already built some algorithms to essentially help you to do that. And so for the exact same product, what SellZone is identified is that really, out of those 9,000 keywords, there's 851 that are actually sending traffic to the product listing. And as far as like the semantics and how all that works, it gets kind of complicated, and it's just not appropriate to try to go through that right now. So this tool also shows you, similar information. How much search volume is there for the keyword? Where does the product show up on the search engine result page? What is the average position of the product for the keyword? How much traffic is there for the keyword? And then what is the competition? And what I like about this one is it kind of just filters only the most important keywords, and then it shows you, that information here. With any of these tools, what you're going to also want to be doing is, once you create that new product listing content and upload it, you're going to want to track these keywords and see how your organic ranking position moves up or down in the search results based on where you put that keyword in the title or the bullet points or the backend search terms. And so with this one here, we can see over the past few months, it's maintained its ranking of number 4, which is pretty good. And then also we can see, the trend of the traffic for this keyword, the keyword volume also is showing us here, like how that keyword volume is moving along. So you could use this information based on seasonality to make adjustments to your listing. And also when you're re-optimizing or optimizing for the first time, these are all metrics and data points that you want to look at to understand where you should place these keywords in your product listing for the maximum effectiveness. Okay. Another tool here, once we go ahead and optimize the product listing, we want to be tracking those keyword ranks. And so this is another one that's pretty cool within Helium 10. It's called the keyword tracker. And essentially you can load up your keywords over here, and then we can track, how the performance of those keywords are doing over time. And so for this example, shower exfoliator, we've optimized the product listing for this at some level, and we can see, how it's doing as far as the rank position over these different time periods. So, for example, back here in February, it was like number 22, and then it drops down a little bit to number 29. And then as of recently, it's back up to 24. So, I mean, you can have thousands of keywords for your listing, and it can get very complex and complicated. But at the end of the day, I think what you want to do is try to identify those top 10 keywords and, optimize your product listing for those. And so that's how these tools can be coming into use, and we can be using those in order to optimize the listing and also track the performance. And if you do this correctly, you're also going to see the increase in your sales. And that's what we're really going for. Because once you've optimized a listing with the keywords, you're going to be getting more traffic for those keywords. And then after you do the work for the images and everything, make your listing look really good, that's how your conversion rate is going to be getting to be improved. And then you're going to be making more sales, and more sales are going to lead to more reviews, and more reviews are going to lead to more sales, right? And it's essentially what they call the flywheel effect on Amazon. And so really everything we've talked about today is more on the organic side of Amazon and what you can do to, create winning product listings. And then from there, you're going to start turning on the advertising in the traffic. So, what we discussed was just for one particular product, but depending on how many product listings you have, that's going to be considered your catalog. And so you want to go through each and every one of your listings, and you want to optimize all of these different components. So you should spend time to make sure that you have the perfect keywords on all of your titles. You're focusing on the most important benefits in your bullet points. In the description area, if you have different types of products, you want to build out these these custom sections. And that's what we've done on all of these for this brand, right? So these are the razors. These have all custom, beautiful, top 7 images. It's all got, custom A+ content, right? And so all of this takes a lot of time and energy, but once you do it properly, you're going to see the improvement in your sales. You're going to be able to grow your business, keep expanding, investing, and really, creating an amazing business for yourself. And so that's why all of this is super important. And really, we're just able to kind of just scratch the surface today. But I really hope that this was, beneficial for you. I hope that you learned something, and I hope that this gives you more direction on where you should be investing your time and money. And it's as simple as just looking at your listings and saying, do my listings look more like this one here, where I don't have very much information and content? Or do my listings, look like these ones, which are fully optimized and just beautiful listings doing really well? If they don't look like this, then you probably have some work to do, right? And depending on how big your catalog is, I'm sure that you have areas and rooms for improvement, from your titles and bullets to your images, your A+ content, and even on the back end with what we described with the feed files and all of those additional little attributes. So I'm sure that you can find ways to make improvements And I hope that this presentation was helpful in helping you to identify those things, and also giving you a little bit of the inside scoop and looking on the back end to see, how do we use these tools? How can I use this to understand what keywords I need to optimize for, and where I can go from there. So I really enjoyed putting this together for you today. I'm happy to share. If you got any other questions, send it over in the chat. And other than that, I think we're going to go ahead and proceed to close out this session here today. So Karen, I'm going to send it back to you. Thanks.
Thank you, James. Wonderful presentation. I learned a lot. And hopefully you will all join us next week when we're talking about advertising. Is that what we're going to talk about?
Yes.
Advertising components. So we did organic today. Next week, we'll talk more about promotional opportunities. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Jay. And hopefully we will see you next week. Thanks.